Searched everywhere. I looked through hundreds of files, searched through my text messages. I even looked everywhere in my wardrobe, but I just couldn't find where I asked for your opinion.
Nope. Hey y'all. Welcome to another episode of Dear Qadriyyah Safiyyah, where I scour the internet to look for situations where I can offer my unsolicited opinion. Today's episode of Dear Qadriyyah Safiyyah comes from Dear Abby. Dear Qadriyyah Safiyyah, she failed in Hollywood and now expects us to pay to see her show. I already don't like the situation on your end. Dear Qadriyyah Safiyyah, we have a niece. Thanks, fam. We have a niece who spent 12 years in Hollywood trying to become an actress. The only job she ever managed to land was a TV commercial that showed only her hands. She's a hand model. After spending tens of thousands of dollars and having 5 different agents, she finally gave up and moved back to Kansas. She should have moved to New York, moved to Atlanta. There's lots of movie and television activity in Atlanta for sure, and New York for certain. So I hope your niece decides to keep going with her desire to become a, I guess, established famous actress and tries and relocates to Atlanta, because living in Atlanta is much less expensive than LA or Hollywood, wherever Hollywood is. She has now written a play in which she is the producer, director, and sole actor. Good for her. She has rented a venue and now expects all of us, friends and family, to pay $50 each to come and watch her perform. We feel this is nothing more than a hobby of her. How could this be a hobby? Hold on. How many years? How many years did she spend? 12 years? You can't be serious. You think this is a hobby? Oh my goodness. We feel this is nothing more than a hobby of hers and questions the level of talent and entertainment that will be presented. So there's a lot that she has learned in the 12 years, and you consider it a failure in Hollywood, but it may be that she wasn't willing to do certain things in order to gain access or to get roles. There's a lot of reasons people don't make it in Hollywood. So you consider it failed, but 12 years is definitely experience in something. We rarely attended even the best of Broadway plays and now feel obligated to go to keep the peace in the family. How can we get out of this without causing resentment? Signed, not a fan in the Midwest. How do you get out of spending $50 to support your niece's endeavor without causing resentment? Well, let's see. We rarely attend even the best of Broadway plays. So maybe you can sell tickets for her. Maybe you can sell tickets for her. Maybe you can find a sponsor for her production. Maybe you can partner with a business that purchases tickets and then gives them away on, as a way, they have radio programs and shows where they can, the public radio and public television are ways that the business can utilize the tickets as a way to advertise for them. And also that will help with the business can, if the business sponsors, let's say 5 tickets, right? They buy 5 tickets for the program, and then they give them away to listeners of the radio station or the public broadcast. That will help find people in the area that do value art and performing arts. There's always a way to support your family member without doing something that you're not interested in doing. So I'm not really sure if it matters to you. Like, I don't know why you brought up that she was a failed actress in Hollywood when you don't even support Broadway plays. So it can't be that the fact that she didn't make it in Hollywood, that can't weigh that much on you because you don't even support people who make it to Broadway, right? And they're definitely not considered failures. So really what it sounds like is you just don't have an affinity for what she is doing. You don't value what she's doing. And that's clear because after 12 years and her spending tens of thousands, you consider it like, her little hobby. So it's really not the history that she has with performing arts. It's really that you don't value performing arts. And that's a conversation that you can have with your niece, because if she's known you for more than 5 minutes, she should probably know that you don't value performing arts. But if you value your relationship with your niece and you want to support her, then there are other ways that you can support her. And I just listed some really, really good ways that you can support her. You can either find people in your circle that do care about performing arts. You can help her find sponsors to the show, businesses that will sponsor her show. There are ways to be supportive without coming outside of your what you're interested in, and maybe fine tune your position about it, because there's some unnecessary nastiness in your energy about the whole situation. It is quite all right for you not to care about the performing arts, but focusing on the fact that she failed in Hollywood, not helpful. Not helpful. Considering it a hobby when she's obviously decided that this is her passion and career, not helpful. Not helpful at all. Not even in the least. And maybe, first of all, I love the fact that she values her time and her experience in Kansas at $50 a show. That's pretty bold and daring of her, and I honor that in her. Quite frankly, I'm pretty sure she knows that that is a steep price for a ticket for a one-woman show. I'm pretty sure she knows that, and yet she still set that price. So I honor her decision, and maybe that's a way you can look at it. Maybe you can look at it in terms of after 12 years in Hollywood, she has found the value that she assesses to herself. And she sets her price at a price that is reasonable for her to do endeavors that she loves. Being the director, being the producer, and being a one-woman show, that's a lot. And it costs a lot to have that venue, and it costs a lot of her time. And so if she values her time at $50 a ticket, then honor that. Honor that she has decided for herself what she is worth. And honor that she is bold and daring enough to have such a production in Kansas, which is not a place known for extravagant productions, you know? So I think there's a way that you can definitely clean up your vibration about the entire situation, because the resentment is your funky ass attitude. If you came to her like, hey, Niecy Pooh, this is not really my thing, but I wish you the best, I'm sure she'll understand that. But your attitude seems to be, you failed, this is a hobby, how dare you charge us $50? So that's going to breed resentment. That's going to breed discontent in the family, okay? Not a fan in the Midwest. It's perfectly fine for you to be not a fan in the Midwest. But out of the entirety of the population in Kansas and in the area for which your niece is having the production, it's just a numbers game. And so if she has to fill, I don't know how big the venue is. That's a good, and that's a fact that you could have added. But I don't know how big the venue is, but if the venue seats, let's say, 200 people, 100 people, the numbers are forever in her favor. That's not even 1% of the population of Kansas, nor the city that you all live in. For certain. So the numbers are in her favor, and her energy is in her favor. And if you want to support her, then clean up your energy to that way you can be in favor of her success in Kansas. Imagine that she didn't make it in Hollywood for 12 years and then comes home to a family that don't even want to see her make it in Kansas. My goodness, right? And people support people's hobbies all the time. People have ridiculous hobbies. People have hobbies that other people think are ridiculous, and they make guap doing it. There are people who make thousands and thousands of dollars, doing the little metal things with listen, people's hobbies make the money. So downgrading your niece's profession as a hobby is still no reason not to support it. You just don't like it. And there may be people in your circle, people in your circle that you have not considered are interested in the performing arts. The schools, the elementary, middle, and high schools, the colleges. There's tons and tons of ways that you can find people to sell tickets to your niece's production once you clean up your attitude about it. And if she has a large family, then all of you selling tickets will definitely result in getting butts in the seat for $50 a pop. Okay? So that's what I suggest. In order to eliminate the resentment in the family has to clean up their attitude about their niece's passion and career and support it in ways that don't cause you all to come outside of yourselves. So if you're not interested in seeing the production, not one of you, if you're not interested in seeing the production, that's fine. But selling tickets, that'll be helpful. Getting sponsors, that'll be helpful. Going to businesses and having them buy the tickets so that they can promote the show and promote themselves, that'll be helpful. Find ways to be helpful, right? Much success to us all.